Hey, and welcome. You're back to episode 3 or the third of the podcast. I don't know if they're really episodes, but they're something. If you don't know who I am, my name is Isaac or Ike Wellhausen, and I am doing a thing. I'm living in a van in New York City. And as of yesterday, I'm officially here. Anyhow, welcome. Pretty much what my plan to talk about today is the success of the heater, my plan of attack in terms of being a performer that lives in a van here in New York, and kind of just give you an idea of the overall rundown of like what my day-to-day is in some aspects. First things first, good morning from me. As you can see, I'm speaking a little lower, and this is a good way to get my voice amped up. I have an audition later on today, which will be really fun. This will be for, I believe, Arizona Broadway Theater, which is in Phoenix, and they need 2 contrasting pieces, so we'll see how that goes. I've only done one audition in the past 3 years. Otherwise, all my work I've gotten through knowing somebody or submitting reels or things like that, because pandemic and all that stuff really changed the game for auditions. So this will be in person, Pearl Studios down on 35th-ish, 34th, 35th. Which would be really cool. I'm on the west side of way above Upper Manhattan area, so 125th Street kind of area, which is really nice. It's not too crazy over here, and you don't get too much through traffic, which is really nice as well. So I'm going to be going to do that audition around 4 o'clock. I need to go shave, and I should probably work out because I haven't worked out in the last 2 days. So I'm going to go to Planet Fitness and go there, shave, shower, all of the things, make my way back here. Because that's going to be part of the process, right? Is figuring out how you're going to manage your time. And I'm always looking for more stuff, right? So I just finally got my equity membership application. I've been EMC since 2018, and I've accumulated, at this point, it's 40 something points. It doesn't really matter. It used to be based on a scale like equity, which is the Actors Union. You used to have to acquire 50 weeks or 50 points to kind of register as a person to join equity. That's how it worked. And then in 2019 or late 2018, they changed it to 25 points, which I had 25 points within the first year and a half of me having EMC. So they made you reapply to do another 25 weeks if you wanted to extend your EMC. So you pay another $200 or whatever it was at the time, and then you extend for another 25 weeks so that you don't have to turn equity. And it was a way that I could continue to work at equity theaters while accruing EMC or equity weeks without being equity. But now I'm since I am in New York and they have all of these equity auditions, there's a huge incentive to be equity. And that being something along the lines of I want to be equity because I can, schedule an audition instead of waiting for an open call where you may not get seen and you wait outside in this frigid temperature all day. But that kind of stuff will reveal itself as we go along, as I kind of explain equity and go through that process with you to decide if this is the right choice for me. My best friend here, or one of my best friends here, Logan, he's equity, and he lives with another equity member. So it's going to be interesting to kind of get his perspective as someone who has just moved to the city as well, what it means for him, because, he's just moved into a new apartment, so he's got a lot going on. So he's not really focusing so much on the auditioning aspect just yet, but he will be. But for me, I moved in and it took me no time at all because I already have everything I need with me, right? That's the van life. So today's thing. Well, first off, I wanted to say it's 29 degrees outside, and inside it's 75, 76 degrees. This heater does wonders. It is amazing. Yes, my feet are cold, sure, but my feet are always going to be cold. I literally just turned it on as soon as I woke up and then just laid around and made some coffee for myself, just as I normally do, and was able to really kind of wake up to the warmth, which is amazing. So I will have to say that this heater that I literally just installed 2 days ago is a game changer. I was worried about a few aspects of the installation in terms of like, oh, will the heat affect this, this, and this? Because I have like Reflectix, which is a name brand of this like insulation that is around the tire well, and I put the exhaust pipe through there, and I noticed when I looked down in my tire well yesterday just to check on everything that there's like, I may need to change the caulking because I'm not sure it's completely heat resistant. It's not smoking or burning or anything, but that doesn't mean that it's the exact right thing. So I'm going to look at that. Luckily, I put primer, so that should at least adjust for the heat transfer. But I was like, oh crap, I also have Reflectix that this pipe is going through, and if it's creating that much heat that it's like burning through caulking, it's not, but it could. I was like, how will that affect the Reflectix? But Reflectix is rated to take and withstand heat up to 180 degrees, and it'll never be that high of the heat coming out of there. Definitely hot. It'll be warmer because it's exhaust, but not that bad. Not that bad at all. So, and I haven't smelled anything burning, so I guess I must be doing something right. But these are all the things that like you think about and you're like, oh, it probably won't be a problem. And then you see the actual application of something and you're like, oh, maybe it is more of a problem than I thought it was. It's really nice in here. It says that it is 75 degrees in here. I'm actually going to turn it off. It's hot enough that I don't need it to be any hotter in here. So I have this little baby thing that turns it on and off. Like that's how simple this process has been. And it draws not even an amp of power, which is great, especially when you don't know how much power you're going to have. It says it's sunny today, but I don't see any sun. So today, as a van lifer, you have a few different options. Like some people will have showers in their van. I have a shower, like an outdoor shower that I can hook up, but I don't have any running water in here right now because it's too cold. Just frankly, it's too cold to have it in my pipes, and I don't want my faucet exploding. I don't want any of my piping to mess up. It's all PEX tubing, so it should technically be fine, but I'm more of a, I'd like to stand on the side of caution to make sure that nothing actually happens and I don't have to make bigger repairs down the line. I'd rather just be like, okay, I can use, pour over water and things like that, which is just fine. I bought like 8 gallons of water just to start off with, and I'm sure I can find plenty of places nearby to refill that and different things like that. But, so I'm not worried about that, but I don't have the running water, which is what it is. So I've been going to somewhere like Planet Fitness for showering. And if you have a black card, it's like, I think it's like $25 a month, which is nothing for a place to shower and work out. It gives you full incentive to work out. It gives you full incentive to shower. And the showers tend to be pretty nice. At least they are everywhere else. I can't say the same for New York, but I assume so for New York. I have 2 options within like a 15 to 20 minute walk or subway. So I'll have to make that decision in a little bit. I wanted to get this done and upload another one before I did any of that. So another way of like getting things started for the van life itself is, okay, so once you've gotten the shower situation figured out, you got to figure out the bathroom situation. For me in this situation, I'm going to use Planet Fitness as well, though I am parked near an actual park, funny enough, that I could use the public restrooms here. So you have to find a way to situate yourself where you can be near public access if you need to use the restroom on the fly. Because not that I don't have a toilet in here, I do. I have a toilet, but I've never used it. I've never had to use it. It's one of those things where I would much rather find a toilet and have to wait a little bit versus cleaning up after myself, if you understand my meaning. Because what I have is like it comes with a little storage unit underneath, and you take that unit out and you can dump it into any regular toilet. I don't have to use that. I try not to use that. I try to make sure that I use the restroom outside of the vehicle in any way, shape, or form. So that's shower and bathroom. Next, you have to worry about heating and cooling. I now have this heater, so that's just fine. You would worry about it during the winter, but this works for me. Most of my stuff stays fine. My equipment has been holding up just fine. It doesn't get too bad in the van, and luckily the heat will help. Whenever I do get it heated up, it helps keep everything nice and temperate, which is great. That's just like the basic necessity side of van life. Obviously, you have to find a safe place to park that works for you. I'll admit for myself, last night I was a little like tepid, a little, worried, and maybe a little paranoid even, because This would be the first time I've been back in New York in a long time. This is the most like road traffic I've had to deal with. And it's a new space. Of course, you're going to be a little worried about being in a new space and trying to acclimate to that. I have in case I needed a white noise machine or different things like that. But really, it's just about calming your mind and saying like, yes, you are safe. Everything will be fine. No one is going to harm you. But some people need more than just that. So if you want to, like my sister Emily sent me with a taser, so I have that within reach, and a few other things just as like a precaution. Not that anyone's going to try and break in, because there's nothing in here to take just in general, but like it's one of those things, just like some people need that kind of safety net or clarity for themselves, and that's totally cool. That's one of the things of van life. Like, yeah, I can say that as a guy, like I'm not worried that someone's going to try and jump me on the street or different things like that. I'm not worried about walking around at night. Like, I have that privilege or whatever you want to call it. That's something that I don't have to worry about, whereas some other van lifers do. These are just some things that you're going to have to take into account if you do this kind of life. It's not for the faint of heart by any means. I have to duck in and out of my cabin every single day. I have to crawl into bed. I have to kind of sleep a particular way. Like, all of these things exist as part of the experience. And if you're not willing to really take that time and explore what you are capable of, then you'll never know. And this is not for you. But if you want to kind of see what you can do and what your abilities are, this is a great alternative to regular apartment living or just living in general. Because, this happens to be New York City, but you can put this in any major city. I've stayed on the streets of El Paso, Austin, Texas. I've stayed in Arizona, just in Tucson or different places like that. Like, you could literally stay anywhere and follow these guidelines of how to do things, and you'd be fine. So it just really depends on how you want to live your life, or what you need to live your life, if that's probably more correct. And like, obviously I want basic amenities, but I have things like I have hotspot if I need internet, so I can upload things. But also there are a million places in NYC with Wi-Fi, as well as Planet Fitness has Wi-Fi. So why not take some time there and just try and upload stuff? I mean, I can't promise it's good Wi-Fi, but it's going to be something better than what I'm paying. I'm not paying for it. So at the end of the day, you got to find what amenities you're willing to live with or without. And that's just part of this experience. And thankfully, I know enough people here in New York that, if I want to do a quicker shower, or if I want to just use someone's internet and not worry about going to a gym, like, I have that available too. So a part of that as well is knowing people where you're going, and that this is my space. I live here. This is my home. It's not going to be something other than that. This is what I chose to live in, and this is the situation I'm accepting and excited to kind of explore even a little bit more of. And we'll just have to see where that takes me and what level of myself it brings me to. Because if you really want something, you do anything to get it. And that's kind of my mindset, is that I built this, I made this, and my dad helped me obviously, but I did literally everything. I designed everything. I created everything so that I could do this. It may not have been the immediate reason, but it's definitely a subsequent reason. And I'm happy with this choice and how it's going. Welcome to NYC, baby. We're going to keep seeing how it goes. There are no promises or guarantees in life. I may not even get what I want within the next 2 or 3 months, and that's okay. It's not about that. If it was, I'd be doing the wrong career, and that's for sure. So wish me luck at my audition. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm supposed to have dance callbacks. If not, whatever. And then I'm going to go see The Cursed Child. So I'm going to start seeing some shows on Broadway and off Broadway as well. So that'll be really fun. Shout out to everyone. This is what you're capable of in living in a van in NYC in the winter, no less. So it's February 1st. Much love to you all. Thank you for stopping by. I hope this was informative in some way. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. I'm willing and able to answer. And I'd love to get some feedback as to what you care about and are interested in about this and my life and what's going on. Otherwise, thank you so much, and I'll see you all soon.